So, first, you just want to like introduce yourself, like your name, where you're from, your company.
Yep, my name's Jonathan. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, in Dade County. Lived there my whole life. Basically, you want me to get into like the HVAC section of it, or just
Just a little bit. We'll go
all right?
further in depth.
So yeah, man. Born and raised. My family's from Cuba. My grandparents came in the '60s. My parents were born here, and yeah, man. Raised in Dade County.
Awesome, awesome. And what like inspired you to like start your HVAC business in the first place?
Um, so I got into HVAC right when I got out of high school. Um, I was actually studying to be a physician assistant, and family member that I knew worked with a big nationwide company. And one day he came home saying that one of his coworkers got into like a car accident with the company vehicle. And the guy didn't want to do, I guess, the drug test, so he ended up quitting. So I ended up telling my buddy to put in a word for me to see if he could get me an interview. And no experience, no knowledge whatsoever about AC. And I went in, did the interview, and basically got in as a maintenance tech, helper, installer, sales rep. Put it like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep. And
And
then go ahead.
what made you like decide to go all in on like your own thing?
So this company, they're nationwide. Their revenue was in the billions. Um, so I just saw basically the money they made. I loved it, to be honest. I love working with my hands. I love troubleshooting. Um, I just couldn't picture myself being in a hospital or in an office. I just gave it all I got. All I had, and just tried to learn as much as possible off all the senior techs, off everybody. To be honest, the new guys, the senior techs. There was always something to learn off of everybody. To be honest,
Okay. So you kind of just wanted to like do your own thing, start your own thing, have your own hours, be your own boss.
yeah. I I basically worked with, I would say, 12 different AC companies throughout my career, and some were residential, some were commercial, some were industrial. And eventually, I just wanted to start working for myself. I had customers, friends, family, just calling me, seeing if I could go fix their AC. And, instead of getting paid 25 bucks an hour with the company, I was doing a job and making thousands on the side,
Yeah.
So
That's
eventually
awesome.
I decided just to go my own way, and yeah, just do everything the legal way. I ended up studying, taking the test, and passed both my board exams on the first try.
Awesome, that's awesome. Um, what were the like early days of your business like? Was it just you kind of hustling, or like did you have some guys to help you out? Or
Yeah, I could tell you it was just me. After paying, opening up the corporation, paying all the fees for the license and everything, I only had like about 200 or 300 bucks left in my pocket, and it was just me by myself. I ended up signing up with these pay per lead services and ended up getting the first call. Basically, they charged me a lead for like 50, 60 bucks. I ended up flipping that into like 300, then using that again until I got a sale for an install, and turned those 300 into thousands. And then, yeah, man, just little by little.
awesome.
Yep.
Do you have any like stories from early on that you kind of look back on and kind of make you laugh?
Yeah. I would say there was this old school tech. Um, Basically, he was doing AC his whole life. One of the things he taught me was the KISS method. And I looked at him, I was like, "KISS method?" He's like, "Yeah, keep it simple, stupid." He's like, "You wanna you don't want to be selling all this high tech equipment. You want to keep it simple, because AC is one of the most important appliances in a home and business. So you want to be able to get it fixed fast for the customer. So that's I've carried that throughout my life, and that's pretty much it. I've had a lot of I've seen a lot of crazy things, like hazardous situations. People getting shocked in the attic, crawling through crawl spaces, end up losing fingers, people falling off ladders, a bunch of crazy things. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's all right.
it's
Yeah,
really safety is the number one thing, to be honest, in this
that's
trade.
great. Yeah. What makes like your company kind of different from others in your area?
I would say one of the things is we're actually open 24/7. It's not like you call a company and they might answer the phone at whatever hour, but they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I can have a tech there in the morning or the following day or whatever." We actually answer our phones. We send somebody out the same day. We don't charge a service call fee. We're $0 service call
Oh,
fee 24/7. Um, I'm the owner. I go out to the job. I meet the customers. I don't hire any sales guys to go out and try to like sell. Just to sell ACs when the customer really doesn't need it. I'm really honest with everybody, and I think that's why we have so many great 5-star reviews.
yeah, that's awesome. So it's a lot of trust, and you get some good word of mouth clients.
Yep, yep. Word of mouth, and yeah, everybody sees our reviews on Google, and yeah, everything's about reviews nowadays. So
Yeah. You said early on you were like doing pay per leads. Is that like the main thing of how you're getting like customers today? Or
um, it it's a percentage. We try to advertise everywhere now. Now in the wintertime, I mean, summertime we really don't need to advertise because of the heat. But wintertime we're usually advertising everywhere, and we're staying pretty busy. I mean, I literally just got home from work right now. I've been on the road since I would say 5 o'clock in the morning, just running calls all day. And
that's
it's it,
good, yeah.
it's like about 30 degrees over here in Florida right now. So yeah,
What are all the platforms you advertise on?
I would say Google, all the popular ones, Google, Home Advisor, um,
Like Yelp?
Yelp. I really don't, to be honest. I mean, they've been
Okay.
trying to get me to sign on, and on top of that, I did have two customers that did leave me a bad review on Yelp, but that's because the choice they made. I had one guy, for example. Um, I went to his house. I gave him the option. I told him, replace the AC. New equipment's the way to go. He was asking if we sold used. I told him I really don't recommend used. It has no warranty whatsoever. And of course, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just trying to sell my house. I just want to get the cheapest and get out of the way." And I'm like, "Listen, I can get you used, but there's no warranty. If it breaks down, that's on you." You know. Sure enough, the
Mm,
guy goes with used. AC takes a crop. I would say like 2 weeks later, and was expecting me to fix it for free, and it's just,
yeah.
just you know. So he
Uh,
ended up leaving a bad review. So, and then there was another guy, same thing. Um, Basically, his unit wasn't working, so contactor was bad. It takes me 2 seconds to install contactor. I put it in just to make sure everything else was running because it was an old system. To make sure fan and compressor was running. I really could have just bypassed the contactor and just done it, but it took me 2 seconds to install it, and then everything was checked out fine. So I gave the guy the price, ended up paying it, but then later said that, oh, we did the repair before giving price. And I'm like, dude, it would have taken me 2 seconds to remove it if you didn't want to, you know,
yeah.
go with the price. So I have a flat rate. We have a flat rate price sheet for all our customers. We don't BS anybody. Our prices are the same for everybody. So
That's good. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Um, do you use like social media for your business at all?
Barely. I mean, Facebook, Instagram. My
Just like simple
wife,
posts?
my wife helps me run the business. She's like the office manager, so she's the one that manages all that. So, but
Just a little, yeah.
yeah, yeah, just a little to
It's
be
good to
honest.
build like some connection in the community,
Yep,
like
yep,
stuff like that. Yeah,
yep.
it's awesome. Have you ever had like a really slow month?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's been times when it's really slow. It's very quiet. So I was literally telling one of my workers that he's new with us. I was telling him this time last year and the previous year, I wasn't even setting an alarm on my phone. I would just snooze in, and now we're slammed. I think we're booked out 2 weeks in this weather. So
That's
I
good.
know I know I will have to hire a bunch of guys in the summertime because if we're this busy now, I mean,
Oh yeah.
summertime's gonna be crazy.
And kind of like when that slow season happens, like did you do anything to kind of get out of it, or did you kind of just like let it? You knew the summer was going to be busy, so you kind of just let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like summer I worked nonstop. So, there was times where I was up 48 hours, nonstop. We worked, we did two installs during the day, then we had an emergency install at Walmart, and we had to work from there. We started the install at Walmart. It was like at a gas station at 12 o'clock at night, finished at 6 o'clock in the morning, then had to start the install for the next day. So we've had crazy days. So yep, yep.
Yeah, not surprised. That's awesome. Um, Say like if the next like year went completely perfect for your business, what would your kind of business look like then?
Um, I would say I would like to open up shop. Right now I'm running the business obviously out of my house. Which is great because we're able to keep our prices down, have very competitive pricing. We're able to beat a lot of our competitors' pricing in the area. Um, and in reality, that's how I've been working for the past, several years, I would say decade. And I haven't really found the need to have a shop, but eventually I would like to have a shop just to be able to stock up with equipment, and just have everything ready to go. Like for example, on I think it was Friday night or Saturday. I had a customer that their AC went out, and I called the supply house and the emergency line, which they advertise emergency line, and I was trying to get them to open up to purchase the equipment to install it for the customer at nighttime, and they just didn't want to open up. And the reason being that we were trying to install it at that time was because they were an elderly customer, plus they had a child with disabilities, so we were trying to get them cooling same day.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, man. That's
Yep.
great. Do you have any like other like customer stories that kind of stick with you, whether it's like maybe a lesson you learned or like a funny story or you know?
Um, Definitely a lesson. I think you know, it was like a manager or she worked with Black and Decker. This was like in my early days, back like in 2008, 2009. I had just gotten into the trade, and he needed a new AC, and I was telling her about the new AC, and he just gave me advice. I think she was like super high, a vice president or something for Black and Decker. And she told me, whenever you do sales, honesty is the best policy. You know, honesty is what sells. So you just got to be honest, and that's it. And I've carried that ever since, and it's true. It helps you sleep at night because me and my guys, we go to these calls where other companies are just lying to customers saying they have leaks in their system and they got to replace
Mhm.
them and all this, and they're quoting them like 15 to 20 grand for the unit, and in reality they just needed maybe a pound or two of freon, or needed to change their filter, or needed the coils cleaned, and there's just so much freezing up. So these people are just trying to sell them a new unit, obviously to make money, because most techs and AC companies, they work off commission. So
Mhm.
my guys don't work off commission here. They get paid good
Okay, yeah.
hourly, and
They're
that's
not
it.
trying to
Yeah.
upsell everybody. Yeah,
Yep.
that's great.
Yep.
That's great. Um, what do you think is like the biggest thing that's like holding you back from getting to that point where you can afford to build your own shop or get your own shop comfortably?
I would say money and
Money.
money and obviously credit. So you know, um, starting off young, I didn't have any financial support from any parents or inheritance or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, it was really all on my own. So that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I started with $200 in my pocket.
Yeah. So you're just trying to like a bigger crew and just
Yeah.
get more jobs for them
Yep.
so you can
Yep.
just keep growing.
Yeah. As long as my guys have work, I'm happy. As
Yeah,
long as
of
my guys
course.
are making money, I'm happy. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
if I feel like I don't have work, I start to worry. I start to worry about them. Obviously, they have families, they got bills. So, I like to keep my guys busy. I'll get in the office and I'll be in the office all day just trying to make sure that the phones ring, doing what I have to do and
Mhm.
to get work for my guys. So
Okay. Now, would you like rather be in the office than going out there, or you right now you still want to be out there? Or I mean, maybe eventually you want to just stay in the office all the time because
I would say 50-50.
yeah,
You know,
okay.
yeah, I like being out in the field. I love troubleshooting. I love installing. I love doing everything. I'll get into an attic and do ductwork myself. I just love it all. I mean, I could hire guys to do it. I have guys that do it, but I just love to be out in the field, helping them, showing them how to do things the right way. Um, and yeah, just showing them that I'm not one of these guys that's just gonna sit in the office and count numbers. I'm willing to get out on the battlefield with them, go to war with them.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like wrapping up here. Where can people find your business online?
Google. You can find us on Google. We're part of the Chamber of Commerce. We're in the process of getting BVB accredited. Um, and Facebook, I believe Instagram as well. Um, but yeah, Google.
What
And
should people look up to get to find you on Google?
just look up Indoor Climate Experts Inc. And we're located in Winter Haven, Florida.
Awesome, awesome. And last question here, is there any like advice for that you have for someone like starting in HVAC or starting their own business in HVAC today?
Yes. So for like people looking to learn HVAC, it's a fun trade. You know, a lot of people get sold the mindset that they get a degree and they're going to be making like $100 an hour, 100,000. That's not the case.
Yeah.
I started in this trade at about like $12 an hour. And it's really installs is where money's at. Service tech, selling, obviously, there was companies I did work at where I was a selling tech, commission, that helps. It helps when you're not making a lot hourly. But in regards to the trade, it is a great trade. You could go anywhere with the knowledge and get a job. It's a lot better than being stuck in an office, I can tell you that. And it just helps you become a great troubleshooter at life in general.
That's
you know
awesome. Yeah.
and for anybody starting their business, um just make sure honesty, make sure you're always honest, be honest with people, provide great exceptional service, go the extra mile. um you know do it for the reviews. That's really all it's about. People want to do business with somebody they trust. You got to build trust with customers, and to build trust you got to do a great job. You got to show
Yeah.
them. So but yeah, pretty much everything I've done, I dedicated to my mom and my brother, and that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's
Yep.
great. That was awesome, John.